Okay. Let's sit in silence. Just, if you wish, you can close your eyes, or you can leave them open as you wish, really. But take your attention inward. If you want, you can place your attention on the breathing. Let's maybe start with this. Let's place the attention on the breathing. Letting go of control. Just breathing. And if your mind, for a moment, forgets the breathing, no problem at all, or more than a moment. As you recollect, you bring your attention back and rest in the current moment. You see the breathing passing through the current moment. And you abide in the current moment. And though the word abide is a verb, it's nothing to do really. It's to recognize and to see all the doings of the mind and not to touch them, not to judge them. Or if judgment arises, it's one of the activities which you can see. No need to fear from any activities of the mind. You can let them be and very softly, just gently return your attention to the breathing. No need to try to make the mind quieter. Opposite. Give it full freedom. And different feelings, sensations, emotions might arise. That's fine. No need to touch any of this, no need to run towards any of this, no need to run away from any of this. Just being with the breathing, and in that accepting the life in its totality. And again, this accepting does not include doing from your side. It's naturally present in the breathing, in the heartbeat. In your very presence. In your ability, just observe the breathing. To whom all these experiences arise? And now, as the breathing naturally continues, we can place our attention or rest our attention in the sensation of the self, in the I-ness itself. And again, the word rest is a verb, but there is no doing from your side. No effort. And again, everything is free to arise, to pass. The thoughts are not a problem. They're just passing, like birds on the sky. Yes, every bird is a true bird. It's passing. on what it is passing. And these thoughts can be seen from the I-ness, from the sky itself, from the self. And when I speak, if any image arises, it's the same to whom this image arises, to whom this temporary vision and understanding of reality arises. What is that in which it appears? Exists for some time and disappears. The same is with sensation of the body, the breathing, the heartbeat. Who is aware of all of that? What is that in which all of the phenomena exist? What is that which provides existence to phenomena? What is the distance between the existence and your own self? Who are you? And if your attention drifted, it's okay. You can be aware of this drift and gently return your attention to the self. And slowly, when it's comfortable to you, maybe opening the eyes, you can stay in this rest, with eyes open. You can actually act in this rest and be quite active during the day from that rest. And yeah, feel free to unmute yourself because I muted you guys. So unmute yourself and we can check what is relevant now, what is arising, what is important.
I think when I close my eyes now and try and find that peaceful place, I'm finding it impossible because I'm seeing the pictures of Myanmar and I'm seeing the people in Russia and the tremendous struggle that they're having in those countries, and it's heartbreaking to think, that they should have come so far and yet they're being dragged back again. It's very, very hard to take, and what the West can do for these people, I don't know. It's very, very hard. Nothing I could ever answer, but it's hard to go to. I'm finding it hard to go to that place of peace when that's so much at the forefront of my mind today.
So where are you looking for this place of peace?
In the here and now. I'm trying to go to the here and now, but I close my eyes and those images on television were so strong that it's hard to get past that.
So what now in here and now? Images, yeah, feelings, emotions, right?
Yes, it makes me want to scream.
Yeah. So what's wrong with it? Where do we look for peace We look for imaginary here and now, but here it is, here and now, not the imaginary ones. Yeah, full with emotion, full with compassion, full with feeling of screaming, yeah, feeling of helplessness, feeling of trying to help others and being unable to do so. Yeah, and we somehow mind says, okay, this disturbs my peace. Yeah, and it looks for peace somewhere else. Somewhere in the mind, in the imaginary here and now. But here you describe the feeling and emotion. Yeah, you don't need to go anywhere. The fact is here. You see how we are conditioned to run from this here and now and look for something peaceful and nice, imaginary one.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, but in this, we deny here and now and look for an experience. But any experience is just temporary.
I think if you see situations like this on television, you immediately think how, not that it's possible, but you immediately want to solve the problem. How do you solve that problem? And you have to accept that it's not something you can do on your own. And
only on your own you can solve all problems.
yes, because you can find that
everyone can solve all the problems only on his own. Nobody can do it for somebody else. And yeah, it's kind of imagining how I can fix the world. It's a nice story. It's a nice story, and help to others is very precious when it comes from place of fulfillment. But where is this place of fulfillment? This is what I'm trying to point to. It's not an experience. It's not an object. When we say peace, where is it? I cannot experience peace now. Yeah, what you can experience. You say an emotion, a helplessness. Yeah, please experience it fully without running away to the story. Experience helplessness. What does it mean to feel helpless all the way? Not with your mind, but just pure emotion. At this very moment, are you aware of that in which this emotion appears, which is filled now with this emotion, but that which is aware of the emotion?
it's a frustration. I think we all kind of conditioned to think that we should be able to do something about these problems in the world, and really these problems are so huge that we're incapable individually of making a difference. Collectively we can, but individually I think we can only find our own place of peace and perhaps send out emotions and feelings to people who are struggling very, very deeply at the moment.
But who gives you a guarantee that if you send these emotions to these people, it helps?
There's no guarantee, I think, but maybe it just makes us feel better if we think we have tried to do something.
But what do you, Carol, really want? What do you want?
I don't want to see people living with such terrible struggles. It's not just the places I mentioned, obviously, it's many.
Yeah, I agree. You're now telling the truth. Okay, and let's say you succeeded in that and you don't see people in struggle. What that will give you?
I don't think it's possible, is it? This is human nature we're dealing with. I don't think.
Let's inquire into this. Let's inquire. You told that you want people not to struggle. What will that give you? If you succeed in this completely, what this will give you?
It's difficult, isn't it? Because I think because of the nature of man and the nature of our world, if we solve one or two of these big problems, there's always something coming behind it, isn't there? That will be upsetting and equally unsettling. So, because we are who we are, there are always going to be these struggles, aren't there, where people grab for power and so on. This is human nature, isn't it, down the centuries. So
do you want it to stop or do you want it to continue? No, I'm serious now. I'm asking a relevant question to you at this moment. I want you to inquire into this. What do you really want?
I would like people not to suffer.
And what that would give you if you fully succeed? I'm insisting on this question. It's a question which you ask yourself.
I'm asking myself, but I don't think it's a possibility. I think it's a myth that this can come about, really. However much we want it, I think in some way or another these things will still carry on.
So then it's a feeling of failure.
Yeah, yes, probably, yes.
Yeah.
And is it even worth trying?
Yeah. And are you willing to experience this failure now?
Yes, I am actually. Yes.
Yeah, and this is actually the willingness to die. Yeah, mind cannot do what mind can do. Whatever it imagines, what mind can do. So what do you experience now?
Dimitri, can I say something?
1 second, then let's continue just a moment with Carol and we'll continue with you soon. So when you experience this complete failure, what is the experience? What do you experience?
It's a numbness, really. It's like a feeling of inability to move.
Yeah. So this is now, you're here and now. Let's experience this numbness. Yeah, go fully into that experience. Don't deny it. Don't suppress it. Don't run away. Yeah, this is the here and now. This is the truth for you at this very moment. So in this very moment when your heart is broken and you're willing for it to be broken, what do you experience? Dive into it directly with your attention. Where do you feel it in the body?
My heart.
Yeah, allow your mind to go into the heart. Not to the stories, but into the heart, directly into the core of this emotion which is currently present. What do you find there?
I think I'm finding quietness and peace again now. But I could have gone on and cried and cried.
But in your willingness not to act it out, here is the peace. But let's now continue into this peace. Dive into this peace. So it's not the peace that we imagine. It's not the peace that we look for, right, as an object. It's something to be freshly discovered every moment in any circumstances. It has nothing to do with circumstances, but with our willingness not to be in control. What do you experience now, Carol?
I'm feeling really, really tired.
So this is now your truth. Let's go into this tired. So mind will tell, oh, I'm tired. It will always justify what is now with whatever story. Don't believe I am tired, but there is a tiredness, the sensation. Go into this, experience it fully. This tiredness appears because you started to let go of the holding, which you hold it so much. You're starting to let go. Go into this tiredness. Continue to let go even of that.
I don't think I can take it further at the moment.
What is the experience?
I'm still feeling, I'm feeling more peaceful and more supported and calmer now, certainly than I was before.
But if you don't look for peace and for calm, you just dive into what is now. So you told I cannot take it more. What did you mean by that thought? What was meant? What did you mean?
I just think I'm not sure now, actually. I think it was I felt I perhaps couldn't go any further into the emotions because it would be too hurtful.
But what now? Is there any hurt now?
I'm not feeling that now. No, I'm not.
So this is your here and now. Yeah. This is the truth. But you see the tricks of the mind. It now looks for hurt, but that's fine. Let it look. But you experience now calmness and peace. Allow yourself to be there. Dive into that. Fully, unconditionally. You can surrender to it. This is the mind surrender to the heart. This is the willingness if you wish to die. This is a willingness not to be in control, willingness not to know. Willingness just to be as it is, as you are. What do you experience now, Carol?
That's just a lovely feeling now, actually.
Yeah, don't describe it. Don't describe it. Just dive into it. Dive into it. Don't call it a feeling. It's just your current truth, current here and now. Yeah. Embrace it as you embraced before other feelings and emotions. Embrace it fully. Surrender to it. Don't hold to it. Even lose it immediately. Otherwise, it will be just a matter of the past. And be fully in that, totally. And then you are shining as you are. And at this very moment, if you wish to speak globally, this is your contribution to the presence of all of us. This is your gift. This is what you can really give. Just that. That which is not an object. And you cannot give it, but this is the only thing which you can give to others and to the world and to the existence. It's not something mind can give, but this is a common ground for all of us. Common substratum. And what a gift to see you now, like that.
Thank you.
Thank you, Carol. Yeah, but we see how our mind tricks us to explain why we feel a certain way, you see? And it tells all kind of story. If feelings changes, mind will tell another story. And in fact, it will find beautiful justifications. They will make sense. For sure they will make sense. Otherwise we will not believe. If our mind says something that doesn't make sense, we discard this thought. We even don't give it attention. Yeah, but when it says something which makes sense to us, we say, yeah, I identify with this, and we believe. It's an interesting situation to find yourself in when you are capable of letting go of the mind story and dive directly into the experience itself. And in that experience, when you really surrender, when you discover the truth of yourself, what else? What else you can give to others? This love is all permeating everywhere then. And you're right, some people struggling at this very moment. Yes. And we all know situations in our life where when we were struggling, yeah, nothing wrong with the struggle. I say we can contribute to the peace and to the love. In that way, when we fully meet the struggle and we discover our presence, our light. Because this, our light, is the light of existence. It's existential, if you wish. And this is a gift. I don't want to take this opinion as an opinion. I don't want you to believe that. Yeah, otherwise it will be just another, this is right and this is wrong. All my words are to be discarded. Seriously, I'm completely serious about it. It's not about the words. It's not about position of the mind. It's about absence of position of the mind. And in this very absence of the position of the mind can be a real, what its purpose is, a real servant. Yeah, when you act from that. Then mind is a tool, a beautiful tool, to do whatever your talent is, whatever your inclination to do. Yeah, then you bring this light with your presence, with your actions, which appear through your body, through your mind.
What did Thelma want to say?
I apologize, Thelma. I just want to.
You're fine. I know we've moved along quite a long way now, and I just think it's a very difficult thing to actually understand the suffering of another person.
What did you say? Suffering?
To understand the suffering of another person. And
may I stop you for a moment? Just this sentence. How one can understand the suffering of another person?
You can't. I was trying to say, maybe the wrong word is understanding because it's a huge word, but like to have an empathy with another human being.
No, it's not even an empathy. I completely agree with what you're pointing to. I just want a bit adjust the word.
Okay, you say it better than I would.
Play with the word a bit. Because by trying to feel empathy, by trying to understand the suffering of another, we create a distance between other and me.
Yes, that's what I'm trying to get at. I know what you're
But there is no distance.
Yeah.
You can open to the suffering of another
and
completely and accept that in this fullness.
Yes, that's kind of where I was going with it. But
then compassion is really real, right? It's not running away to the mind, which says, okay, the other is struggling, yeah? And I am kind of feeling empathy. This is a story. Yeah, you see the struggle and you are free to act, yeah, if you have a possibility to act, or you are free even not to act. You're free. But in this, your willingness not to run away to the story of the mind from the struggle which you see, then there is no distance. Then there is no distance. Because usually what happens, I can say on my own experience, how I was previously trying to manage this, I was seeing other people struggling, and it's difficult to bear. And you run to the story, or you try to fix it, or you try to explain to another how he should behave not to feel the struggle. not to struggle. Yeah, it's all fine. I don't say, but if it comes from the place from not being fulfilled, if it comes from the place of distance, you cannot really touch. Yeah, something is happening. There is an interaction, but it's on the periphery. But when you are in your core presence, in the being, there is no distance. You are touching the heart. I'll tell you my story. Not long ago, maybe a year ago, I was talking to my uncle in the United States. And you know how we get emotional with relatives? You know, all you know. And we got into this argument. And he was trying to, I even don't remember what it was about. I just remember the tension. And it was growing and growing. And at some point, I was willing to see I'm not able to convince him. And at that very moment, I dropped the control of the mind and surrendered, went to the being. If I can say like this, it's obviously words, but I just let go. But I didn't stop to argue. Nothing externally needs to change, you see? And the miracle happened. How it, I will explain later how it happened. I can a bit try to explain. And the whole dynamics changed. He was willing to come into the same conversation from the place of love, from the place of unity. It was quite immediate. And I didn't change anything externally. I was continuing to argue exactly like that, but I dropped to the being. Now, what happens really? Let's look into this dynamic. What happened? When we are from the mind trying to do something, as a person feels an ego, feels something, and there is a fight, one against the other. Yeah, if you wish, like in Tai Chi wording, yang against yang. Yeah, it doesn't work. It works to a certain extent, yeah. But when you drop to the being, this is the common ground for all of us. In that moment when I did it, when I was with my uncle, yeah, and I was in the existential beingness, and my willing not to control, yeah, at this very moment he could not sense the ego against him, but see his own self. Because at the end, we see our own projections, but when one of the sides drops to beingness, then you become one. And he could sense it unconsciously. Yeah, he didn't have an idea about what we are speaking, but he could sense it. And whole dynamics changes immediately. It's not anymore opponent in front of you, it's your own self. And we all in love with this presence of being. We go to sleep at night, we drop everything just to be with it fully. And when other so-called other person can feel it, suddenly it appears. It's a gift to him. It's a gift to you at this very moment. It's a gift to your minds, if I can say like this at all. And dynamics changes. Now, if you do it to get this result, it will not be genuine. How I say in English? Genuine. It will not be genuine. So it's this beingness, this existential self, you cannot control it with the mind. So if you are dropping to the being to manipulate another, so-called another, it will not work. When you drop to the being, It's unconditional, you see.
You know, when you say, I find it a little bit of a shock to hear, are you willing to die? Do you know,
Yeah.
because it's such a finality, you know, that word, it's the end, you know.
Yeah, it
But
is.
is it just a phrase, or is it something that I
No,
find it quite shocking? So is
it's
there a
real.
gentler way, or am
It's
I
real.
just trying to be gentle on myself?
No, it's real. It's real. Unless you're willing to lose everything, lose yourself completely, and die, you are not willing to let go of the past. You're not willing to meet the next moment. You're not willing to be the real self. You're still holding to the mind. And willingness to die is the willingness of letting go of control. It's the same words, yeah? At the end, when we go to sleep at night, you are letting go of control. It's not a terrible experience. Yeah, I remember I was 9 years old and we were in vacation on summer in a camp with, you know, with a tent and other tents near the sea, Black Sea it was, in Soviet Union. And I felt not well. And I told to my mom, I'm probably going to, how I say, throw out. Or,
Throw up.
yeah. And I will go to, there was a toilet in the camp. And she told, okay. And I went. And when I went, suddenly everything became black and stopped. And when I came back, I was on the hands of my father and I was 9 years old. And my mother was putting water on my face and crying and screaming, obviously. But I returned and I was so happy. And I thought to myself, is it death? Is it what people are afraid of? If so,
At
it's
9
not
years
scary
old?
at all. What?
You thought this at 9 years old?
Yeah. A whole day after this, I was up. You know how is this when we are up?
Elated.
Elated. Oh, this is death, my God. This is so beautiful. This nothing, no experience.
Yeah.
It's so beautiful. What we are afraid of, we are going to it every night.
That reminds me of a story. Well, it's true actually. And all of us have had probably gastroenteritis, and a doctor once said to me, "Have you got to that stage, Pam, where you wish you were dead because it's less painful?" And I said, "Oh yes." And it was so obvious that the doctor had also had. I mean, he was a doctor who had also had gastroenteritis and had got to that pain where actually you do just want to be dead because you don't want that pain anymore. So I can understand what you're saying, Dimitri. It's shocking, I agree, Thelma, but actually there's a almost a comfort.
It's actually a relief at the end. A relief of, you know, we're so conditioned to live in our mind and to hold to this. And it seems to us if you let go, everything collapses. But it's just, it serves its purpose, yeah, to hold to. It's a survival mechanism. But when you're inquiring into yourself, then it's just in the way, this holding. But you see, you cannot fight it. You cannot remove this holding because it's in the way. So the only way to let go is to fully experience holding.
Yeah.
So you stop arguing with the holding. You just dive into this holding. You hold and you see you're actually not holding.
This reminds me of one situation as well from the past, when unfortunately as well I was unwell, like you, Dimitri, and Pam, and I stood up during the night, and of course during the night you are a bit, muddled up, where are you, etc. And I need to run to the loo, but I didn't made it because I collapsed. But I collapsed so badly that I went with my head towards the window, and unfortunately there was a cactus, and this cactus fell on my head.
Mm.
But this cactus kind of
Oh.
wake me up, and because I make like a huge bang at the 2 a.m. in the morning or so, so my parents, I remember, ran, and this cactus on my head, and I was like sitting already like nearly up, laughing and very happy. so so I thought that it's kind of, you see, it was painful, but I was happy and laughing. So I think it makes me all this blackness, because as well I went black, deaf in the ears, ringing, and this whole fainting episodes, vasovagal. So but come up with a very positive experience out of it. So that reminds me what Dimitri said as well, and yeah, I thought I will share because it's a bit funny.
I think you've been doing the same ever since, Aggie.
Am I doing ever since the cactus on my head?
Well, I think you always seem to bring sunshine and smiles out of a horrible situation.
Oh, thank you. I must say, after this experience yesterday in hospital, which was 8 hours, and today or a day as well, and I must say I was frightened yesterday because I was bleeding, etc. So the doctors were running around, machine around, and it was emergency department. So you know how crazy it's there, and then finally they discharged me, and it was such a relief just to sit in the car and go back home. And I was just so appreciated that I'm going home, my home, with Andrzej and rabbits, and I think, oh, how precious is life. So it just kind of that makes me appreciate even more what I have. Like, I was worrying that I could not attend this group today because I was feeling so unwell today. But just when I saw you, in the moment when I just saw you, it's like a happiness come along, just seeing your beautiful faces and smiles, and this gives me such a positive energy. So despite I was feeling so so rough, it elated me. Exactly, it was a good word today, David. Elated me, and kind of like a positive high without drugs, which is nice. So thank you, because you made that happen. So yeah, you are amazing group. So thank you for being there. Just being, it's amazing. After that today, I will say 0 words. This was my aim, just listening. But you see, I'm so elated that I couldn't stop me.
Yeah, sometimes there is a time to speak, sometimes there is a time to be quiet. Yeah, generally, Papaji, the teacher of Gangaji, he used it very often. He said, just be quiet. Now, Gangaji told the story that when he told her to stop everything and be quiet, she originally thought she needs to sit still. And he told her, stop this as well. Stop everything. This stopping is mental, you see. There's nothing to do with your activity. Is let activity arise from this silence, from this being quiet. That's fine. But really stop. How much time takes to stop? No time. You just stop for a moment. Let's say you go and with your usual activities through the days, and you can just recollect. You don't need to remember it all the time, yeah, and to force it, but suddenly you recollect it. Just stop. Stop with your mind and let go of everything. It takes only 1 second, less than this, really, to drop what I said, dropping into beingness. It's just being willing to awake to the moment and let go of control. Let go.
Can I ask Dimitri one thing, what you mentioned today when you speaking to Carol? And by the way, Carol, it was very, very sad what you was going through. So sending the love to you, and to other people as well. I mean, we are all the same love. But what I was going into to say, you mentioned, Dimitri, something that when you let go, you feel tired. And because I'm absolutely shut down because of all experiences, I was thinking that I'm tired because of what I went through, didn't sleep through the night, stress, etc. But I was thinking, is it possible that I feel tired as well because I let go what I went through? Because I have today flashbacks when Carol was going through the flashbacks of what she was reading. I was going through the flashbacks of things what's happened, yesterday and in recent months. So do you think I could feel tired because I'm kind of the letting go of that memories and flashbacks?
You see, I would not try to control and try to understand.
Okay.
Yeah, why I'm telling this, because this very moment when you try to understand, so in particular moment, tiredness can be from other reasons, not just, when you are controlling, and you let go, at this very moment, suddenly you drop into tiredness. Yeah, it can happen. But then you go into tiredness and you actually discover the energy under the tiredness. But tiredness can also be physical. You've been active and you worked a lot. And you're just tired. It's fine. But we are conditioned to continue. The whole of society drives us, you see. With adrenaline, we need to work, drink coffee, and continue and continue. Yeah. So I would not try to understand what would I feel and what should I feel. Yeah. Even, I would not try to understand what we are speaking about here.
Okay.
I would encourage you, really encourage. And this is what it means to be quiet, is to listen with the ears of your heart. Because the words cannot deliver it. Understanding cannot deliver it. If you read a book and you start about that and you start to understand about what I'm speaking about, stop. Throw this book. Yeah, I'm not referring to this book which you are currently reading, but maybe I am. Who knows?
You are such a mystery, Dimitri. It's just such amazing to just listen to you. It's just like, it's just amazing. I would call it even addictive, kind of. Do you feel, guys, like that? Because I feel.
No, but this is what I'm pointing to, that stop looking for fulfillment in thought. Because why I'm saying this? Not to make you like not smart. You studied so much, right? I'm not trying to bring you to the not knowing like a child. No, that's not that. But same question, what do you really want? Do you want understanding of happiness and understanding of fulfillment, or do you want fulfillment?
Of course, happiness and fulfillment, that would be amazing.
Yeah. Because thoughts are never complete, you see. They are always temporary and they cannot deliver the completeness and fulfillment and happiness. So this is my invitation to let go of understandings, however beautiful they are, and face what is now, what is here.
I scribble let go of understanding, because if I see it, I will.
But this letting go is not an action from your side. It's the stopping of all actions. You see, because we are conditioned when this is how the words are misleading. I'm saying, let go, and you are looking for an action. No, don't look for it as an action. Just stop. Stop everything. And just be. Don't know what it means to be. Don't know. You don't need to know. You are already. Let's maybe take just a moment before we finish. Just 1 minute. We'll drop back to the silence.
Okay.
And to let everything go. Thank you so much for this meeting.
Namaste.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Lovely to see you all.
You.
Same. Bye, guys. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Night.